everyone and welcome to Tea House Chat. I'm here with Damien Mitchell, a stencil artist from Melbourne, and we're here to tell you a bit about stencil art. So, Damien, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello everyone. So I've been stenciling for about 12 years. I started when I was in high school, just making shirts for friends and posters and that kind of thing. I moved out of Australia straight after high school, went to Prague in Europe, in the Czech Republic, and just kept on painting as much as I could, do walls and again more posters, more t-shirts, and kind of just got more experience and tried more challenging things until I ended up being here today.
So was there a specific reason why you started street art?
Boredom, I suppose. There's not a lot to do in Wagga. I skateboard a lot, and so you'd spend all your time hanging out at the skate park, and there's just a lot of bare cement there, so you end up, wanting to make it a bit prettier.
So can you tell us a bit about the Guerrilla Gallery?
Alright, the Guerrilla Gallery was something which I made one day walking along. There was an empty storefront around the corner from my house, which was just unused and a mess. So we went there and tried to turn it into a gallery by nailing frames to the wall and putting paintings and kind of giving an outlet for local artists who didn't want to be involved in the gallery scene to be able to put stuff out and get some really honest reactions. People who would walk past would they wouldn't say in hushed tones I don't like it, they go, that's not very good, really openly, so you could kind of gauge reaction a lot easier. So we put up this gallery, got pulled up halfway through doing it, and the police said, look, you shouldn't really be doing this. If you're going to do it a bit more subtly. So we went and put some cardboard over the front of this box, hid in behind it, sprayed it all up, then put it like a gallery opening sign, and people kind of come back and have a bit of a party when it opened. Since then, this particular one in Prague's been shut down, but there's been other ones popping up. So the idea is that you can start something and someone else can run with it and do it better, and it can kind of grow from there.
So you've obviously travelled a lot, but is there a certain favourite place that you really like to work or inspires you a lot?
I like to work amongst other art. So of course Melbourne's great because there's a wealth of talent here and there's paintings on almost every corner. Gdansk in Poland, up on the very north by the Baltic Sea, is kind of similar. It's 3 cities joined by this little train line, and all of those lines are just covered in art. Of course Prague, because that's where I cut my teeth. Anywhere where there's good art to be inspired by is a good place to paint, I think.
Who, out of all the other artists that you know or that you've met or people that have died a long time ago, who inspires you the most?
Oh, okay. When I first started stenciling, with the Melbourne guy, was kind of it was kind of one of the first I saw as a kid. So growing up, seeing his stuff, meeting him, working with him, there's always been an inspiration. Plus, like seeing someone still working and seeing how their work changes and evolves is always a real thrill for me. Apart, like, in the non-graffiti sphere, I like comic book illustration a lot, like that kind of Big Daddy Roth, really kind of crazy characters with eyes popping out of their head and that kind of thing. Sure, yep. Even the newspaper's kind of pretty too. You can go through the newspaper and if you stop reading the stories and just look at the pictures and try to think of other stories for those pictures, that's really fun as well, I think.
So you do stencil art as the main thing, but are there other kind of arts that you really like or enjoy as well?
I like art which is funny and kind of makes you think. Like at the moment, I don't know if I should be saying this, but at the moment, working on a little thing to install a little amplifier and Bluetooth dongle, USB thing with magnets attached to it to train stations, so you can attach them into the PA system on train stations and enter your password on your smartphone and play your own music through the PA at train stations. For example, at Jewel Station in Brunswick, you play Jewel, the singer-songwriter. Got a nice look from the train, and she's playing. So yeah, like I like art as long as it, you know, you can kind of discover it yourself, and it's a bit fun and doesn't take itself too seriously.
In your work, do you kind of do anything that's you're trying to portray a certain message or anything political at all, or is it all kind of quite fun and not so serious?
I reckon you can do both. You can make a political message which doesn't have to be in your face and aggressive. You can make it just like a nice subtle one, which it might just be taking an image and twisting a little bit, which isn't saying this is bad or this is good. It just says this is silly if you look at it from this angle.
Who in your entire life so far and career so far has influenced you the most?
My dog. About 5 years ago, he's dead now, but about 5 years ago I got this street dog, and he would go with me everywhere. He's the best painting partner because he never complains about it being late or cold or, you know, going too far or anything. And he's also the best model because he sits still for a long time. I was doing a bunch of paintings of him. I wanted to do him like kind of around the city, jumping over bridges or having a piece on a wall or something. So yeah, I suppose he'd be the most influential one. Friends. My sister, I suppose, the whole ethic of it all. She was kind of involved in kind of making her own magazines and stuff back in the 80s. So her kind of do-it-yourself ethic has always kind of been a strong one for me.
So, and why do you actually do street art? Like, what do you get out of it, and what's the best part to all of it?
One, there's a thrill of just being out running around at night time, and then the next morning going and seeing your piece, maybe even seeing someone walk past it and chuckle to themselves, knowing they're on the way to their job and they're probably going to have a pretty crappy day, but that little moment was cool. I actually like stenciling as well because it takes effort. It takes a long time and you have to concentrate. So when you come home, you can either sit there and watch TV for a couple of hours, or you can work on something and have a bit of a chat. And I don't know, you can kind of let your mind wander for a while, and you know, you end up thinking some pretty wild stuff while you're concentrating on something which is, you know, really just physical work.
And are there any projects that you're working on at the moment?
I've got a show next year in New York, so I haven't done anything for it at the moment. I've got to start making some paintings. I've just got in touch with the guys from Blender, so you know, meeting people from there. I would like to maybe do some walls, some collaborations, that kind of thing. But at the moment, being in Melbourne, I'm just really enjoying walking around and just seeing how it's changed since last time I was here, and it's really impressive.
That's all the questions I have for the moment, but does anyone else have some questions they'd like to ask Damien? Yep.
Why Prague?
Why Prague? Sorry. It's kind of the furthest place from Wagga Wagga. I had a sister who moved away when I was 2, so I wanted to go meet her. She was living in Kiev, in Ukraine, so it was kind of near to her. And it's a pretty city. If you ever go there, it's just gorgeous. You can walk around, and there's parts of it you just don't see ads, you don't see street lights. You feel like you're in like a time warp, you know, 200 years ago. And there's a lot of cement slabs from the communist era, so there's plenty of room to paint.